As a child, Bruce Wayne watched as his parents were brutally killed in Gotham City's crime alley. Traumatized by their deaths, he devoted his life to becoming the world's greatest weapon against crime, the Batman. To become the ultimate vigilante, the Dark Knight disciplined his mind and body to reach the pinnacle of mental and physical superiority in his relentless pursuit of justice. What's going on, guys? Multiverse here with yet another action figure review video, and today we're having a look at Batman by McFarlane Toys. Starting off this video, guys, we are of course having a look at the McFarlane packaging, and it is of course that traditional black, white, and blue with the open face window, seeing Batman himself front and center, and he looks beautiful. Down here at the bottom we see DC Multiverse along with Batman's name. Flipping over to the side, guys, we see Batman from Dark Knights of Steel. I personally don't know this storyline, but I am eager to learn. I'll have to look into that one. Flipping over to the back, guys, is the Dark Knight on looks to be his throne with that badass knight's sword. And this just looks awesome. Flipping over to this side, guys, not really much going on other than DC Multiverse and Batman again. Nothing going on at the top. And then down here at the bottom is the barcode for you barcode guys. With all that said, guys, let's go ahead and rip the Dark Knight himself out of the packaging and see how he looks. So right here, guys, is the Dark Knight himself, Batman, standing straight up and down on the rotating turntable. And for my first-hand impressions, I actually really love this figure. This Batman, I know I'm a bias for Batman, but this Batman here just looks freaking awesome. It's something different. Now, for me personally, like I said, I have not read this storyline. I've actually never even heard of this storyline. However, I feel like the mask kind of throws it off with it being the solid black. If they would have gave him an all black armor, that'd be one thing. But being that he has this dark gray metal armor going on here, I would have liked it for the mask to match the torso. However, the sword, the body, it all looks freaking amazing. The sculpt is mwah, it's absolutely beautiful. Now, I would have loved also a black cape because, you know, traditional Batman. I don't know what's going on with this, like, bluish gray they've got going on here. I don't know, it's kind of a weird color to me. I have told you guys before, I am a sucker for a blue and gray Batman, but this blue that they've got going on is kind of it's weird. It kind of clashes in my eyes, but that's just me. However, the detail is absolutely beautiful. The sword is amazing. This figure looks awesome, although he's kind of leaning off like backwards a little bit, which is kind of weird. I should be able to fix that. Hopefully he doesn't have loose ankles. With all that said though, guys, let's go ahead and take him off the rotating turntable and take a closer look at the accessories that he came with. When it comes to accessories, guys, this Batman doesn't really come with anything. He does, of course, come with a traditional McFarlane DC base with the DC logo just stamped right there, although mine's kind of scratched up and smudged, so it's not the prettiest it could look. He does, of course, come with his own trading card, which is the same comic image we saw on the back of the box. Still looks absolutely beautiful. Flipping over to the back, guys, is the read-up if you want to pause the screen and read it right now. Always give you guys that little bit of a second. And then, of course, the piece de resistance in terms of accessories is this sword. This sword is beautifully sculpted. It is beautifully painted. I love that gold, and I love the shine, the little sheen we have for the silver blade itself. It just looks absolutely amazing. This is a King Arthur sword. This is the sword that the Damian Wayne Robin figure should come with. This looks like a Ra's al Ghul sword right here. This is absolutely beautiful. With all that said though, guys, let's go ahead and move away from the accessories and zoom into the figure himself to see that detail. When it comes to the detail, guys, this Batman looks absolutely amazing. They spared no expense on this figure. Starting off with the head sculpt, guys, I love the face and just how pissed off Batman looks under there. Even the wrinkles within his mouth and right around his cheekbones here, he looks pissed off. Going up here to the cowl, guys, I love the battle damage we see and the little straps that are like off to the side of his head here that kind of just keep these little flaps in place. He looks absolutely amazing. And even on the back of the head, he has more battle damage and a little bit of a design itself going on in the cowl back here. Flipping over to the front, guys, looking at the torso, I love the battle damage chest that he's got going on. All these scrapes and scratch marks. I do wish they would have put a little bit more of a wash over there, or a wash in general, just so that way it puts some coloration on there. A little bit of shading, it would look even better. So just for them to put a single coat of just the gray paint over it, or just mold it with the gray plastic, and it's a little bit of a miss for me. I feel like they would stick out a heck of a lot more if there was a little bit of a wash going on here. Same thing with his shoulder pads. They are beautifully detailed with the battle damage. It's just that battle damage doesn't pop as much as I would. Now on camera, it looks amazing just looking at it from here. But looking at it from the naked eye, you can see it's there, but it just doesn't stand out like it should. Going down here now, guys, looking at the midsection of him, he does have like a little bit of like a kilt going on here, but it is a soft plastic, so you can move it out of the way so that way you can get some good leg articulation. We'll take a look at the articulation a little bit later in the video. You guys know how I do. Going down here now, guys, looking at the boots, same issue from the rest of the armor. Battle damage is there. It kind of stands out, but it's not really like popping. It's just there, you notice it, and then if you look away, you don't even see it again. Floating over to the back, guys, we see the sheath that his sword goes into, and it's very easy. It just slides right in there, and you don't have to worry about it falling out, because if you put it upside down or if you bump it, it's not going to go anywhere, and you don't even have to put any pressure in there at all. Just slide it on in there, and then boom, there it is right there. And it looks amazing, especially looking at him straight on. Now that is an intimidating Batman. Looking at the cape now, guys, I love the rip. I love the tears going through it, and I also love the deep tear they have for the sheath. That looks absolutely amazing. And all these rips and tatters, you guys know I'm a sucker for the tattered cape look, and this guy just looks freaking awesome. Flipping the cape up, guys, we see a little bit more battle damage on the back, but this part of the armor is just painted blue like the rest of the cloth clothing he has on. You can tell this is supposed to be part of the armor, but they just painted it blue. McFarlane, stop doing that. Stop giving all the love to the front of the figure, and then the backside gets mediocre treatment. Like, we're going to see the back of the figure. We're going to look at it. We're going to pose it for photos and stuff. We need it to look beautiful. Not saying it looks bad. I'm just saying a little bit more extra love into your figure making. That's all I'm saying. With all that said though, guys, let's go ahead and move away from the detail and take a closer look at his size, articulation, and get into some size comparison. When it comes to how tall Batman stands, guys, he does, of course, to the top of the head stand at the 7-inch mark. If you want to go to the top of ears, he is 7¼ inches. However, I just like to count the top of the head because for me, that's where Batman ends. I don't ever count his ears. Let's go ahead and take him off of his base here. Move him closer to the camera. Jump into some articulation. Let's get rid of the sword here. Don't want to warp it because I got lucky with this one. This is actually pretty dang straight. All right, let's get into the articulation, guys. Starting off with a head sculpt, he does look up about that far, and he looks down about that far. He does have a ball joint, so his head does rotate all the way around and get some beautiful head tilt in there. He does come with a useful butterfly joint. Arms go out about that far. Even with the shoulder pads, they don't really get in the way too much. They do rotate all the way around. He does come with a bicep swivel, double hinged elbows, and his hands are not interchangeable. Well, they are, but he doesn't come with extra hands. But they do, of course, rotate all the way around, and they hinge up and down as well. Going out here now, guys, looking at his torso, he does, of course, come with an ab swivel, although it kind of gets stuck. He comes with a ab crunch. It doesn't really go forward, but he is a limbo master at parties. He unfortunately does not come with a waist swivel, or at least mine is super stuck, I guess. I mean, it's not doing anything for me on his waist. His legs go forward about that far. They go back about that far. He does, of course, come with double hinged knees. And as for his ankles, they do articulate down. They articulate up. He does have toe articulation. And he does, of course, come with that beautiful ankle pivot. Starting off with the size comparison, guys, here we have the Dark Knight himself standing next to Warrior Wonder Woman. That's what I like to call her. She is, of course, part of the Bane Build-A-Figure that nobody likes, but this figure does look great with the Dark Knight Batman. Jumping out of the DC Universe, guys, and into the Marvel Universe, we have the Dark Knight Batman sitting next to Diamond Select Toys Spider-Man. And as you can see, the size here, it's really up to you, but for me, it works. And last but definitely least in movie terms, however, the figure is actually pretty okay. Here we have the Dark Knight Batman sitting next to the Marvel Legends Captain Marvel from the Marvels film. And as you can see, it simply does not work. Alrighty guys, and there you have it. Another action figure review video in the books on my channel for you guys to enjoy. When it comes to my review on the Dark Knights of Steel Batman, I'm going to have to give him a solid 8.5 out of 10. I do love this figure. I think he looks amazing. However, just that little bit of extra love in the figure itself in terms of painting the back armor plate, maybe a little bit of a wash on the battle damage to make it pop, and of course, giving him some more accessories. Now, he might just be sword based in this storyline. Like I said, time and time again, I've never heard of it. I've never read it. I am interested to read it if I can find it, but I'm not going to drive myself crazy looking for it. However, I do think it'd be an interesting read. If you've read it, let me know down in the comments below. Let me know if it's worth my time. But I really would have loved to see more accessories with this Batman. Maybe some custom batarangs for some just like jagged shards of metal. I feel like that would be pretty cool. Maybe that's just me. With all that said, guys, I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, don't forget the like button and hit subscribe if you are new. I try to put at least 2 videos a week for you guys to enjoy. With all that said, guys, I'm getting out of here, and I will see you in the next video. Later.